usually I get to come on stage and let everyone know, like, hey, I'm from the government and I'm here to help. And that's the worst thing that you could hear, but it really is the worst thing you could hear when, on a technicality, I'm unemployed because we're in a shutdown right now. So it is what it is. One of the things that we're going to talk about today is just the level of existential crisis that really is apparent, real, present within artificial intelligence, and more specifically within deepfakes. Elon Musk famously said, AI, for all intents and purposes, is an existential risk to humans. And I agree with him, and I'm going to set a time frame for you on when I think that's actually going to happen. And I hate to tell you, but it's about 6 months ago. Realistically, back in 2014, we saw the first versions of GANs come about, which is artificial intelligence that can create images and videos and different pieces of content. And then right around 2017, we had an explosion on Reddit where this content was available, and we saw deepfakes of presidents and different celebrities. And then in 2021, this all came to your mobile phone. You could do it specifically on your phone. It was simple and easy. And now we have a ton of different vendors that advertise and advocate for this technology. And a lot of those models you've probably used. You may have used Runway or Google's Flow and Veo, or you may have used Sora or the latest model, Sora 2, which is absolutely fantastic and has near real video creation. So much so that the things that we used to look for in the past as being ways that we could tell that they were fake are completely gone. Now, all these models, including LTX video, which is one of the examples here, they're all US-based models. And typically, for someone who does work sometimes with the government, typically that means a lot, but those aren't even the best models anymore. Now we have ByteDance and Hailu and Lanax and Kling creating models, and those models are fantastic. They built in physics engines and lighting engines and different tools that make these near perfect. Nearly so much so that we can't really distinguish what's real and fake. A survey was done at the end of 2024 that said 51% of people can't distinguish between a deep fake and a real piece of content. The bad news? Those models continuously got better from the time that came out. So much better that we saw this happen to Taylor Swift and Scarlett Johansson with her voice. But the scary part is 15% of US teens have admitted that they've seen a deep fake of their classmate. And I'm going to tell you now that those deep fakes are not PG rated. And that 15% is significantly higher than what you think. Because those are the ones that admitted it on a blind survey to someone that they don't know. Now, you may say, well, Rob, that can't be true, but we had 31 different teens commit suicide in the States from 2021 related to this type of content. And those 31 youths were between the age of 13 and 17. But I don't want to take us on a fully dark route. I want to talk about geopolitical things as well because they're fun. So you may not have seen this deepfake comes out, and I usually tell a great story where I point at the audience and I ask how you can tell it's fake. And some people will say, oh, the hands are wrong, or oh, this person comes out of nowhere. And then I was in Montreal at this exact conference, and someone from the back of the room yelled out, you can tell because his hair moves. But I felt like we had to go international as well because we are national. I mean, you may not have seen these deeds of President Macron after the face-pushing incident that people manipulated. And these are made with Google's model. And if you were doom scrolling through Instagram, you would barely even notice that they were fake. You would definitely wouldn't notice if on average you only spent about a quarter of a second on each piece of content. But even President Macron likes this content. So much so that we all like this content. He launched an incredible campaign for the Paris AI Summit to tune almost over 500,000 likes on various platforms to engage with deepfakes. We love deepfakes. We love it so much that OpenAI launched their own social media platform just for deepfake content. Now, they may not call it deepfake content, they may just call it AI-generated content, but it's rife with issues when it comes to IP and copyright for name, image, and likeness. And it happens all the time. We don't need a specific platform for it. On Instagram, we see the tune of 362 million views, million times that this content is viewed from one creator. Only one creator. And we see it all the time. And it doesn't matter if it's used for negative purposes, positive purposes, or purely entertainment. We generally gear ourselves towards this content. We like it so much that YouTube actually had to put in laws that they were going to demonetize this content. But still, on streaming platforms, if you don't know, you can stream AI Jesus 24/7. And he'll talk to you, he'll answer your questions. He's trained on the image and likeness of what Jesus is perceived to be, as well as all of his teachings. And the most popular VTubers that are on the platform use AI-generated image and likeness to the streams of literally hundreds of thousands of hours. We appreciate this content. We gear ourselves to it because it reduces the level of experience that we have not identifying these characters. And it's not the last time we'll see it. We're starting to see real live deepfakes, not just pre-recorded content, become popular. Popular so that this streamer that you see on screen right now is 100% fake. And is just tied to some image tracking and face tracking from the user and goes on streams and has conversations all day long with a voice changing module as well. And you would never know the difference unless you really took a hard stance and look at it. And you most likely would find it to be interesting, but some of us have an adverse reaction to it. A really scary reaction, what we now deem medically called AI psychosis. And if you don't know, it's really prevalent. We have 25 documented cases in about 6 months in the States of people that are going through the process of interacting with an artificial intelligence, having a core belief, either being supported or disillusioned by the AI, and then having a mental break. And it's popular. It's so popular that it's all over Reddit. Countless stories of individuals that have gone through communicating with an AI, whether it's a deepfake or not, and have this break. And it's an uncomfortable break when you think about it because we have a significant increase of people that are signing up to have an AI partner. Whether it's a 24% increase on just AI girlfriends or X platform launching their AI-generated avatars in platform, or people quite literally getting engaged to their AI. Now, these are the comical versions, but we can get to the scary ones as well. What's the difference between that and synthetic sovereignty? The ability to live forever and deem yourself in control of a nation state in perpetuity. Forever, as long as you want. And it's not even a sci-fi thriller, this is accurate plans, and we've seen it start to manifest itself in a way that we don't really know how to react with. For those of you who don't know, the assumed killer of the CEO from United Healthcare was recently featured on Shein advertisements for $10 t-shirts. Clearly not him. In the most recent PRC military parade, there was a ton of AI and green screen use, so much so that they just stuck a dummy in the car and drove around with it. And assassins, regardless of their choice, have had Photoshopped image of them put on the internet. So what do? Well, we can look for nation states and people from the government to help protect ourselves, like we've seen. Various nation states are impacting or pushing for your IP, image, and likeness to be owned by you, and that's a fantastic step, but that's only one. We've circumvented the idea of detection because there's so much content out there, and the models are moving so fast, it's very hard for us to watermark it. We can to a degree, but we need to be better at it. But ultimately, if you have policy and you have protection, it means nothing without prosecution and enforcement. So, you've all gone through some of the process today, and the most important process is a level of literacy. You need to stop yourself, realize that what you see is not 100% truthful, and more importantly, understand that what you see on screen is most likely to be fake rather than real. So, with that, I hope if nothing else, you've taken a second to realize that we are well past where you thought we were. We're well past the idea of this being a crisis, and more likely than not, you've consumed this media. And I hope that it hasn't changed your opinion on things. Thank you.